You don't do anything when you write. I have a booster too.
Does it help?
They gave me a booster. The funny thing is, it helped for a while, and then this year,
Minutes.
I noticed I had problems. I shut the booster off. I never said this. Don't figure.
So this is nice to make you make a call. No problem. It's using web calling. Right.
It's too
But it drops.
Yeah, mine dropped.
It became a job easy.
Yeah, it's just
Crazy.
I've been using
Your new filing system?
use WhatsApp.
Nice work. Yes.
Have you been,
Especially with people like that that
Yeah.
don't get it.
It's better?
So the first public hearing for 6:30? So I make a motion, we open the public hearing for, which one is this gonna be?
That is for APFU / Christopher Burrell.
And that's the one in,
that's good for the interpretation.
Yeah.
the interpretation on the,
On 116, 9A.
on North 28.
Yeah, we're at 28. Those mechanical things that are in the yard or the backyard,
Their solar.
some sort of security devices.
where does it need help?
She has to read the legal note.
Kind of across the street from Donna Center.
Oh, okay. Right down.
The place that wanted to go set 8 units.
Okay, guys.
5 units.
The one next,
Okay. Microphone zone. Okay, so I make a motion, we open the public hearing for Christopher Burrell.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
So moved. And may we please read the public hearing, public notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Town of Shandaken Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 274-B of the state law and as prescribed by the district schedule of area and bulk regulations of the Shandaken Town Code for the purpose of hearing the following applicant. An application for an appeal on a violation issued to the property owner was submitted to the Zoning Board of Appeals by Christopher Burrell on behalf of APFU LLC for a parcel located at 6280 Route 28 in Phoenicia, further identified as SBL number 13.2-1.111, located in a residential 1.5-acre zoning district. The public hearing is scheduled for April 16th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Anyone who wishes to make comment regarding this application may do so during the public hearing. If you are unable to attend, you may send any comments you would like read during the meeting to shandakenbldg@gmail.com or P.O. Box 134, Shandaken, New York 12480. All such comments must be received no later than 3 p.m. on April 16th, 2025.
Now, is this an appeal from a variance?
This is an appeal on my violation.
On the violation.
but I don't, didn't you file an appeal for an interpretation of?
You guys can play with the language to your heart.
No, I'm just saying, the application says interpretation.
The application, I made the application.
Yeah, I know, but it says interpretation, so he paid $100 for an interpretation of the violation that you gave him or the property, which states that he can't have that equipment in the front yard or the backyard, based on it's a residential, single-family home in a Class 1 type property. So I think what he's, I don't want to speak for anybody that's here to speak for him, but I thought it was that he wanted us to interpret the language that you quoted him, a piece of code that you quoted him. That's what I got out of it.
Okay. Is he the representative of Mr. White? Okay. Your neighbor?
No,
Okay. All right. So a zoning application for zoning variance was actually submitted?
No, it's not a variance.
It's just,
It's just an
interpretation of the code.
and basically this thing was resolved at the planning board hearing
Yes.
last week.
We didn't receive any comments except from Mr. White, which Olivia.
So, you know, I thought that the violation would go away.
The violation is, for all intents and purposes, with the granting of class 2 home occupation, assuming that they meet the conditions of that resolution.
Yes.
Which was simply that they plant some trees, where they said that they would.
Yeah.
And they've gotten until the end of June to do so. That violation is gone.
Gone, yeah.
But Mr. Whiteham's comment to that is as follows.
Okay, so this is in
They're gonna read the comment.
It's okay. Zoning Board of Appeals. Although we were successful at the planning board, the reason that we paid for a ZBA interpretation is we believe the violation should be thrown out. Neither our tenant nor our company should be forced to incur any further costs. Issue with violation sent.
No, that's what they got.
I don't have to read all that. Okay.
Okay.
What about this one?
That's everything he sent before, that was the new comment. Essentially, while they got the class 2 home occupation, they feel that they should not have had to do so. And should this board overrule my violation, then they don't have to plant the trees. They don't have to.
They feel they should not be forced to do so because they don't feel it's a work.
They feel that the
Facility.
violation was issued in error.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what that ever was.
I don't know that it was an error.
Yeah, I don't know if it was
Storage
that.
of equipment related to a commercial business on a residentially zoned property is in violation of the section of the code, and then it states any non-residential use located in a residential zoning district must be obscured from the view of any abutting residential district. But the first one, 116-9A,
Yes.
basically says any storage of equipment related to a commercial business.
Wait.
That's not
But
what.
that's not what 116.9A says.
Well, that's what I'm reading, that's how-
169, no, that's
Just read
fine.
No, it's here.
116.9A.
It's here.
169A is no building, structure, or
Why is this in
land
here
use
then?
shall hereafter be used or occupied, and no building or
That was
structure or
what she-
such
her
thereof
interpretation.
shall hereafter be erected, new, altered, reconstructed, or enlarged, except in conformance with the regulations herein specified for the district in which it is located. My argument is that the storage of commercial equipment on residential property is a land use that was not approved by any board for the town of Shandaken.
Based on the
That
fact,
was my violation.
based on the fact there's a business.
Yeah, it's storage, the storage of commercial equipment related to his commercial business, which he will have to tell you is absolutely legal.
Yeah, and that's what we're being asked to interpret, correct?
The interpretation is, should I have issued a violation
Based on that,
based on
Based on,
169A?
that I think is the whole issue.
yeah.
And that's what I think wanted an interpretation of, whether that means exactly what the zoning enforcement officer violated him for.
It says no land shall be used or occupied. I mean, it seems pretty clear to me.
Thereafter, right?
Yeah, it seems pretty clear to me. I think the violation makes sense.
I agree.
No, I agree too that the violation makes sense. I mean, it's
Seems valid.
obvious because they admitted that they wanted to go with a class 2 housing in a residential zoned community or area. And they got a special use permit granted for that. So and as far as I'm concerned, if they continue to do what they're supposed to do with the class 2 housing authorization, that the violation will go away. And they'll be able to do what they're doing now without any interference.
Including
As long
planting
as
of
they
trees,
abide by,
including the planting of the trees.
yeah, as long
Yes.
as they abide by the requirements of that class 2 housing. And I think they're gonna review it in a 12-month period.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So we are in agreement that the violation was in fact a violation, and that Grace's interpretation was correct. So what is needed from us? A resolution that
Yeah, during your regular meeting. Or resolution. That's how I read the word.
This is a normal public hearing.
Right.
We'll
Okay.
treat it as we treat any variance.
Was there any other input from the public hearings? Okay, just Mr. Rosinski.
Is there anybody here to speak on
Any input? No? Okay. You don't have to say anything. But thanks for being here, first of all. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
If we can close.
So, okay, we had the public hearing, we'll make a determination in the general meeting. Any other questions?
I only have one thing, is if zoning enforcement officer or anybody in the zoning and building department issue a violation, and the general public or the resident of the property feels that it was issued in error based on how they read the code, should they have to pay $100 to file for an interpretation of that particular code? I think that the fee should not be $100. I think that any resident of the town that feels that they're violated and improperly, that they should be able to come before the zoning board of appeals and have it litigated to the point where we either agree with the way the building department interpreted the code or not.
Was that $100 fee already paid?
Yes,
Okay.
it's in the code book. Fee is the fee. And you'd have to take that up with the town board to have that language removed from code.
Well, that's not easy.
Well, the language is in the code of interpretation, but it doesn't have a fee attached to it.
It says that the fee is prescribed by the town board.
Well, we didn't have an interpretation application, so I don't think the town board has applied a fee yet to it. And maybe,
I didn't make up the fee. The fee was absolutely set by the town board.
For an interpretation?
or an
I
interpretation.
absolutely did not make up the fee. I would never do that.
We're not accusing you of that.
Well, I'm one that made the application. He said the fee was $100.
Yeah, but we didn't have an application before, is what I'm saying. So it's different than a variance, either a use or an area variance. It's an interpretation of what somebody in the town suggested that a property owner violated.
Whether or not we can give a variance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can give a refund. Right? It's
Well,
already-
again,
it's
So I
already-
guess we
Town
take
board.
it up with the town board?
Yes.
It's already been paid, so
Yeah.
it's a town board.
It's not our business.
Okay. Okay, case closed for that public hearing. We have to schedule for 47, so that's 47. Holy shit.
They'll vote on it.
Do we have to close this one?
Well, just stay for this, I make a motion, we close the public hearing for the Christopher.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved, that part of the hearing is closed. There's a second public hearing for the Colasanti.
Yes, Christopher
Property.
Colasanti. At 645, so.
Christopher Colson.
Yes,
And Patrick Casey is representing him this evening.
this is at the very end of Trevor Hollow.
It's the garage.
Yeah. And it's an area variance.
It's a height variance.
Is that the only issue, height variance?
Yeah, yes.
It's a height variance.
All right. So I make a motion, we'll open the public hearing for the Christopher Kawasaki property. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's open that public hearing. Can you please read the public hearing?
Notice is hereby given that the Town of Shandaken Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 274-B of the state law and as prescribed by the district schedule of area and bulk regulations of the Shandaken Town Code for the purpose of hearing the following applicant. An application for an area variance was submitted to the Zoning Board of Appeals by Christopher Colasanti for a parcel located at 176 Trevor Hollow Road, further identified as SBL number 35.1-20, located in a residential 3-acre zoning district. The applicant is seeking relief from restrictions that do not allow an accessory structure to exceed 15 feet in height in order to construct a garage that is 24.5 feet in height. The public hearing is scheduled for April 16th, 2025 at 6:45 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Anyone who wishes to make comment regarding this application may do so during the public hearing. If you are unable to attend, you may send any comments you would like read during the meeting to shandakenbldg@gmail.com or P.O. Box 134, Shandaken, New York 12480. All such comments must be received no later than 3 p.m. on April 16th, 2025.
And were there any respondents?
There was no.
No respondents. Okay.
Nobody knows it's there.
Yeah, I was trying to
It's so hidden away.
Is that your property, sir? Okay. Are there any neighbors anywhere near? Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. No respondents.
No problem.
Things are kind of okay. Make a motion, we close the public hearing for the Christopher Kawasaki. Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so closed. That concludes our public hearing.
No, you've got to
One
examine
more,
the law.
Robert Jones.
Oh. Green.
Robert Jones.
No.
It's in your,
Which color code is
Robert
that?
Jones.
Everybody doesn't have the same color, so go by the color.
No color coding? What is this? What kind of operation is this?
The colors bring the joy, that's the only reason they're there.
Why are you doing this? Because it's Easter?
All right, this is Front Road.
It's a non-conforming property.
It's an addition. Get back. Property.
It's in the front section. It's a long Rudy Frank.
They have a 30-foot distance.
Yeah, but
What is the variance they need now?
Yes.
is the property zoned R3? 60 feet. She needs a 30-foot variance.
The variance 2 feet.
Yeah, we need 60 feet.
From 60, yeah.
In R3, but it's a non-conforming property. Pre-existing, non-conforming.
1.5 acres. Okay. So I make a motion, we open the public hearing for the variance property. Let's go to the other. 15 minutes.
Not that I think people are doing 80 on 28 trying to get here.
Clamoring to get in.
The flood of people coming to the
Yeah.
variance.
There was an emergency siren that just went off. You know what that was about?
Yeah, there's a fire alarm activation at Menlo, Woodland Valley.
Oh, that happens all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
Did they actually respond to that when that happened?
They respond
We
to
saw
it.
And you
them,
get
right?
fined
Yeah.
after, yeah.
So why isn't the,
What's the charge for them?
I don't know the charges, but I know there's a charge.
they used to say the variance what it was,
I
right?
know, I think she forgot.
200 for the second.
Hey, Olivia,
250 for any.
why doesn't it show what the variance?
What they're
is,
asking
What
for.
they're asking for and what it's supposed to be? I
Propo-
thought it used to be on the,
Proposed,
We've corrected that, but there was,
it's not on here.
I corrected that, but this application doesn't have that.
Oh, it was before.
It's supposed to be 60, they're asking for 30.
30,
Got it.
30 is what.
This was before the correction.
30-foot variance.
It's a 60-foot.
Required.
Requirement, and they have 30, and they need a variance for 30 feet.
30 feet.
Do you know this?
Yes. I'd like to know that.
Do we have another drawing for this? Or is this the only sketch? This is the only one we have?
Before you turn to Route 28 on Route 47,
what are you trying, where it is?
Just kind of the surrounding area.
instead of turning on 47, you go straight up.
42.
Yeah, 42.
42.
Yeah, like something, 42. Instead of turning on 42, Reef Road is straight up the hill.
Got it.
And it's a loop.
I see.
And it's,
Is it?
yes.
Let's see if I can get any service.
I mean, there is a house across the street, but apparently.
Okay, we'll open that public hearing at 7. Meantime, we can figure out what else is going on.
You don't have service?
I do. Okay, so it's on the back of that, it's on the back of the roof.
And are we reading
Here.
Wellington Blueberry people here today?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hi.
Where'd they go?
Jan is here.
Can you see Rudy Frank?
Yeah, I see it, I want to see.
So it's right here. It's opposite this little pond here, basically. This loops around and it's over here.
It's actually, yeah.
It's on this side. It's over here.
As I understand, so far.
There's a house over here with this pond. I don't know why it's not showing any of that. Let me see.
I don't know if you read this.
Satellite.
So this information we got from Risley and Moriello, is that the standard paperwork for SEQA review?
So you can't see it because it's,
Do you know what you have?
That's something from Mike Moriello.
yep.
So
the number.
he wants to put it right, 72.
Yep.
This is
He wants to
standard
put it in
paperwork,
front,
right there.
when they're looking at lead agency certification.
Need it.
Which is facing the road.
Intent to serve as lead agency, yes.
This is not part of the SEQA
Getting
review,
close
it's
to that
just
road.
beginning of the SEQA review.
30 feet.
Essentially. I know.
It's very,
I burned myself and then scabbed and now it's.
That's a punch. That's a punch, come on.
That's the planning board, well, that's what Mr. Moriello circulating for lead agency on the planning board. Essentially, it's them saying, unless you object, the planning board can handle seeker review, which you can object if you'd like. If you want to.
to this, that the planning board will have the SEQA review. Communications, you're throwing a lot of information at us. We're not
See
hearing
how
how
big
far.
that, he said, it doesn't show how big it is, right?
No, it doesn't, but let's see here, that says.
Oh, that's
40.
40.
I just want your
14
applications to be
feet.
correct.
I forwarded you the correct application.
No, it still has the wrong, SPL, what number? You have-
No, the FPL number is correct, the physical address is incorrect.
I have the two here, it says 300. I have the new one and the old one. And both of them are incorrect.
What's incorrect?
The lot and
Fourteen
block
point
number.
one three three 32 is the
For
correct.
example, that's not what's on here. That's why I keep saying it's incorrect.
What's on there?
The first one doesn't, it shows that the county of Ulster is the owner. The second, yeah, well, that's the first one, and the block number is
Because they've got
wrong.
more space
Well,
in
it
the back.
depends what,
And the second one has Frank Barslow on it, the property owner, and
Yeah,
the
they could change the house
the
layout.
lot and block number is
If they
wrong.
really wanted that addition.
Let's get that corrected.
What is the list is block?
It should be 32 on the end, not 300.
I suppose we could ask the question.
And
Oh,
also,
I think we do have them.
what I didn't know was that the county of Westchester is gonna build some sort
Oh, yeah,
of
there's a plan of the
12 by
road there.
20 shed
Kind of a
there,
room, but
and
not a-
also have a generator and
oh, this says
Full house.
existing.
500.
Generator is typical of the tower install, they have to have.
No, the county of Westchester. I mean, the county of Ulster is having that, building a garage there.
I don't know,
Well,
that's,
this one's there.
part of-
That's
it's
it.
part of
There's the
this
new
whole-
porch.
but it's not
house
part
is
of
over
anything
here.
that any board for the town of Shandaken is currently.
This is the
Well,
room,
it's in here to
This is the
review
room,
as the
this thing.
Yeah.
layout
Yeah.
of the,
But that's not what they're applying for. For you, they're simply applying for a very tight tower. They've not submitted that application. For a highway garage? For a garage?
A shed,
no, it's a 12 by 20,
maintenance,
yeah, maintenance kind of facility for the county with a 35 kilowatt generator and a 500 gallon propane tank. And that's gonna be in addition to what Verizon has there. They're having a diesel generator with diesel tank.
County wants to put something there, that's.
Yeah, it's already in the plan, it's already in this. It's on the prints.
What is that, Verizon?
Verizon.
No,
Well, county
the county
intends
of also,
county intends to add an antenna for EMS, likely with that will serve.
They will need from us a height variance or
I
a
think
use.
so. And also, do they need DEC? Because it looks like that corner, if the tower goes down, part of it is gonna land on state property, protected property. And also, it's a hamlet residential, and in the code, on hamlet residential, it's
State law
prohibited.
covers safety.
It's prohibited.
The county attorney says that they don't need a use variance.
Well,
That was from the county.
they do still need variances from us. We can't prohibit them from building a tower, but they have to get the proper variances from the town.
And the only variance that they require is a height variance.
You know, they also require an area variance
For what?
Oh, it must be.
for one side. They need a 55-foot area variance.
They don't meet the required setback.
That's the setback. The tower is 200 feet. They need, if the tower falls, they need the variance for the setback, 199 feet.
You get what?
If you can direct me to the section of code requiring that, I will make sure.
You know,
It's not in the code. I believe it's part of state and federal regulations.
We don't enforce state or federal regulations.
Well, that's what they're asking for in the variance, is an area variance of 55 feet. So if they're not required, then why is we even looking at this variance? That's the only thing that's on here.
They need a height variance.
They do need a height variance, but they didn't apply for that. I sent an email to the zoning department stating that they need a height variance, because this only requests an area variance of 55 feet.
Okay, so that'll be addressed next week, or next month, actually.
Well, it should be addressed before,
We should, yeah, we should understand the issues before.
Okay, 7 o'clock, I make a motion.
We have a public hearing for Robert Jones property. Can we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. We read the public statement.
Notice is hereby given that the Town of Shandaken Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 274-B of the state law and as prescribed by the district schedule of area and bulk regulations of the Shandaken Town Code for the purpose of hearing the following applicant. An application for an area variance was submitted to the Zoning Board of Appeals by Robert Jones for a parcel located at 72 Rudy Frank Road in Shandaken, further identified as SBL number 5.13-2-44, located in a residential 3-acre zoning district. The applicant is seeking a 30 variance in relief of the required front yard setback in order to construct an addition on the existing home. The public hearing is scheduled for April 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Anyone who wishes to make comment regarding this application may do so during the public hearing. If you are unable to attend, you may send any comments you would like read during the meeting to shandakenblg@gmail.com or PO Box 134, Shandaken, New York 12480. All such comments must be received no later than 3 p.m. on April 16th, 2025.
Were there any respondents?
No, there was not.
No respondents? Okay. So, nothing to hear. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for Robert Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that was easy. Okay, it's a few minutes after 7. I'll make a motion, we open the April Board of Appeals meeting. Yes. Please stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, people. First of all, roll call.
Mark Bodie?
Present.
Gary Guglielmetti?
Here.
Alan Vella?
Here.
Christian Lynch?
Here.
Henry Williams?
Present.
Okay, we have a full house. Thanks for coming, folks. Was there any modifications to the minutes as submitted?
I didn't have any.
No.
I didn't have any. Good with the minutes?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay, make a motion, we accept the minutes as submitted for the March meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, what should we put on the agenda first? Easy stuff, Robert Jones.
You've got an agenda. Yeah.
Somewhere in here, maybe. Agenda and minutes.
Here it is, yep.
Yep.
March,
Christopher Verrill.
April. Okay, so according to the
Christopher
agenda,
Verrill.
first issue is Christopher Burrell. Okay, so he's asking for an interpretation as to whether or not business is conducted on that property. Is that correct statement? He's asking for an interpretation as to whether or not a business is conducted on that property.
No,
Interpretation.
I think he wants an interpretation of 116
-9.
-9. As far as the business being conducted on the property, I believe Grace, the zoning enforcement officer, was correct in issuing a violation. But however, I believe he wants an interpretation of the code that she quoted.
It seems to me she had a correct interpretation of the record.
Yeah, we agreed on that before, yeah.
Yeah. So there's no
Resolution?
resolution we can offer.
Well, it's here, if we look and see what code wants you to do,
Well,
we can do that.
you can say that the interpretation of 116-9A was correct in the way that the zoning enforcement officer interpreted it when issuing the violation.
So should we have a resolution in that regard? I think maybe we
Yeah,
should.
do a resolution.
Yeah, okay. Okay, can you state that again in the form of a resolution? I move.
The zoning board of appeals moves to interpret 116-9A to be correct in the way the zoning enforcement officer interpreted when issuing the violation for the commercial equipment in the front and rear yard of the property on Route 28, APFU LLC.
I agree. May we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Now you can go home. You can stay.
Yeah, it's better than TV. Unless you're a Mets fan.
Colasanti?
Is that next on the agenda?
Yep.
Mr. Borelli. It's been cooking for a long time.
Yeah.
This is the
You know?
garage.
Do we have maps for them, Monty? Do you want to look at, they're larger? Do you like to look at them?
No,
No, I don't think so.
For what?
plans.
Larger plans for this, I think we've seen that before.
So you're the owner of the property, or you're just representing the owner? Okay, so how's the height variance?
The height that's required is 15 feet and
And you're asking for 24, so it's about,
24, so that's 9 feet above the.
They're asking for 24.
okay. So there's no public input, yea or nay. Is this in fact at the very end of the road?
I'm not sure where the transition is, but it's of the first property and the road and Shandaken.
Okay.
We're just at the corner.
I can't even believe it's in Shandaken, but,
That's what's the best.
so we haven't had any objections. There's no,
It's not visible.
not visible, there's no issues about access to emergency responders, fire suppression and health. Is there a reason not to grant this variance?
No?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so I make a motion we grant the variance for the Christopher Colasanti property as submitted. Here's a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Roll call.
Mark Rhodey,
Sorry. Yay.
Gary Guglielmetti.
Yes.
Alan Bella.
Yes.
Christian Lynch.
Yes.
Henry Williams.
Yes.
Okay, Trevor Hollow, let's resume proceedings. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck with the garage.
I think you put it in this folder.
Yes.
She says you can throw stuff away if you want. Well, looking at everything.
Yeah, they're out there.
Oh, no, I'm putting it back in. Yeah, okay.
We may want to lean the stuff that we've already ruled on, so otherwise it would be amended in the paperwork. Okay, the Robert Jones property on Lee Frank Road. He's asking for a variance of 30 foot on the frontage. 60-foot requirement, he is a 30-foot space. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I mean, I just had a question, like, why couldn't this be on the back of the building? Was there any reason? Why?
You got it, Mike.
Yeah, well,
And me. Both of us.
Are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
Oh, welcome.
Aye.
Yeah, so the septic is in the back of the building. It's a new septic that actually the town had put in for us up in Rudy Frank Development. They
Yep.
did, all the septics up there.
Okay. And that's the reason you put the addition in the front of the house?
Correct.
Okay. So we don't want to aggravate septic issues.
that septic is in the kind of, that lower quarter over there?
The tank is directly behind my house, and then the lower quarter is the leach field.
Got it. Okay.
And the addition is where the deck is right now?
Yes, no, I have a front porch which is about 6 foot, extends out 6 foot from the front. I'll be removing that and then adding 14 foot and then incorporating the new porch area underneath that roof line. So it'd be in that addition, so it wouldn't step out of that.
And your total acreage is 0.45 acres?
Yes, I had it surveyed.
Okay. Any questions?
Just one other question. The porch that's there now, that's an open porch? That's not a covered porch?
It's an open porch with a roof.
It does have a roof on it now? It does, okay. Okay.
Do you have exit neighbors?
Do I have neighbors?
Yes.
Yes, straight across from me is William Vitarius. And to one side of me is my mom's property.
Okay.
And the other side is, was Frank Mazzaro, but he doesn't live there anymore, his ex-wife does, with
Okay.
Shannon Bruckner.
Oh, okay.
They're down at the bottom of the hill though, but their property adjoins mine. Oh, and I do have someone behind me also,
Okay.
off of 42.
We assume you're getting along with your mother?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Questions?
No more questions.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I don't have any questions.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Second.
any reason to deny this variance?
We went through it pretty much last month.
Yeah, my only concern was if the existing porch didn't have a roof, then I think this would be a step up. You know, we'd be adding some bulk there, but since there's already a roof, I don't see any reason why this changes that.
Okay, I make a motion, we accept the variance for the Robert Jones property on Ruby Frank Road as submitted.
Grant the variance.
Second, all in favor?
Roll call.
I'm sorry, roll call?
Mark Bodie?
Get this straight sooner or later. Yes.
Gary Guglielmetti?
Yes.
Alan Bella?
Yes.
Christian Lynch?
Yes.
Henry Williams?
Yes.
Okay, short and sweet. Getting the people's business done.
There you go.
And so are we,
Is there one more?
what was the next one?
Is there one more?
Yep. I'm not even sure what that.
No, that's it. Right?
What about blueberry?
Oh, blueberry.
It's a big one.
Yeah, blueberry.
I'm not sure. I didn't even know that was coming up.
I did not either.
I'm not sure what we're doing for the
Yeah, I'm not either. Are we
Do we
actually
know what we're doing for the blueberry?
Requested a use variance for,
Well, the Wellington is not actually officially, presented to you yet, I believe that's what.
well, they presented a use variance to us months
Yes, sir.
ago for 10 rooms and a retail space.
And that's still there,
And
there's
that's-
a host of area.
Well, we're holding our answer. We're holding our answer until they submit other variances that they're gonna need to accomplish
Yeah,
their project.
which is in the addendum, that's in your paperwork.
Yes.
They're here.
So they are.
Where is it?
Where is that?
Is this in respect to the
Oh, there it is.
use variance that you already applied?
Yes, correct.
There's 5 area entrances and 2 uses.
We don't have any of those before us.
Yeah, you got a whole submittal of January 14th. It's got 2 very long memorandums.
They're labeling, guys.
that I drafted.
See with the
Yeah,
orange label?
they're
Yeah,
here.
but I mean, we don't have actual applications.
Yeah.
That's,
We've had a kind of a little bit of time to go by, the board may recall that they had, the board had scheduled a public hearing before Alan and I got involved. Then, when Alan and I took a look at everything, we said, let me call up Ben Gale, we called Ben, and I said, Ben, I really should try to do a coordinated review of seeker, the planning board would be the lead agency, go back to the beginning and do everything in one time, so you guys weren't tasked with doing your own environmental review and everything else. So when we did that, Alan started to look at the project, and when we started laying it out on a piece of paper, he says, like, we're gonna need a few more variances. So they're all detailed in the submittal, which we can certainly tell you what ones we need on both papers, an area variance submittal, addendum, and those 5 area variances are on the second page, and then the use variance addendum, 2 use variances are on the second page. This is
You just got this today.
no, I took those out of your folder when I wrote them. Those have been in your folders for a while. And I emailed them to you when I got here.
Yeah.
Folders, the first I've seen since this.
Yeah, it's been there for a while.
But I mean, I'm used to looking at, you know,
Yeah,
an actual application that you put in,
Well,
and
let me
if it's
say
joined
everything
in
that I do,
a document like this.
I overdo.
Yeah, if it's joined in a document like this, it kind of throws us.
So we appreciate that.
I'm used to, I've done a ton of work for Rockwell for probably 30 years, 25, 30 years, and almost every application that I do for Rockwell is wildly, wildly adverse, and there's a lot of opposition. This has been by far the most pleasant experience representing Rockwell, because we have a community that understands and has done a great job coming together with the Blueberry people. And it's been a great, really so far, been a great
You see the,
Hopefully you
What are
hear
the
any
use
feedback.
variances? I see the area ones. I don't see the,
We've had our secret environmental
oh,
hearing.
maybe here, A and B?
We had 17
Might be A and B.
7 people came to speak in favor, but we didn't have any.
Okay.
And I think the CC process is going
We've submitted, I recommended a draft CC negative declaration at the request of the applicant and the board, the planning board said go ahead and draft it. We've sent that to Ben Daly. We've also included that to the planning board. That document is being considered by them, and it's our hope that at the April 30th meeting, that document will get
first page.
adopted.
Well, but there's no variances there. I just think those are the two variances, that one.
Like trying to
I think, or that's the variances, yeah.
your board for the following month. The only kind of contingency to that is that in the event we don't get the secret approval on the 30th, hoping we do, then we may not have enough time to provide adequate notice for your public hearing. But I'd like to try and, if the board is okay with it, get it tentatively scheduled, so if, we do the notices, get everything done, and if things work out on the 30th, we're good to go before you.
Well, this has been going on for at least a year. So we,
She gave the date and time, thank you very much.
yeah, I mean, I admire your perspicacity. So, all right, so there's no determination required from us at this point.
Right.
We have to
We have a
review.
mutual agreement on the public hearing that we had for our answers.
We've kept the public hearing open.
Yeah. Well, no, the public hearing was actually closed.
You closed the public hearing,
We closed
and
it.
they waived.
We waived the answer to over 62 days. We have 62 days to answer that.
Okay. What's your name, please?
I'm Mike Moreno, I'm not lawyer.
Okay.
To be clear, that public hearing was for one use variance.
Yeah,
Right,
we used it
right.
for that,
Yeah, this is grown.
That was for the 10 rooms and the retail space.
Yeah.
Yes, and
The density.
Alan can tell you why the use variance is kind of both of them speaking for themselves. I think but the area variance is not to tell you why we need them and why. If you want, why.
So you're saying that the area variances are all embodied in here?
Yeah, they're all set forth in there. So I took both, I took the statutory requirements, all the tests, and went through all of that to get a case law and reasons why to support the variances, so.
Okay, so this project is really growing. You're giving us some homework here.
I would take the opportunity you're being given and let them present the variance.
Yeah, I would like, especially the use variances, I'd really like to
For
hear.
yourselves and for the public as well.
Are you prepared to do that now? Oh, great.
That'd be great.
Please. Whoever's the best person to do that, please step up.
Can you just,
the Wellington development. So, just maybe just say very quickly that where we are with this, our schematic drawings have been submitted to the National Park Service and they've been approved. RUPCO is contracting with our architect to do the design drawings and the construction drawings. And Alan Dumas is our
Michael, can you come closer?
civil engineer and is doing the site, completing the site.
Why does the National Park Service need to be involved?
I'm so glad you asked. Because it's on the National Register, it has historic tax credits aligned with it. And we are we have to create a capital stack to finance this. And we have money from the state, we have a grant from the state. We have 2 other state agencies that are very interested in supporting us. And then we need to raise some additional equity. The community has raised $640,000, which we're giving to the project. And the historic tax credits will allow us to raise another $2 million in equity. And we are in the business of shopping it around. And if any of you have $16 million in passive New York income, I'd like to talk to you after the meeting.
I did until the tariffs went into price. Sorry about that. Darn it. You should have talked to me a week ago.
So that's what they all say.
All right, so the plot thickens.
The plot thickens, yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's just very simple. First page is nothing more than existing site. Well, right on the street, you all have three fields right at the site. There's your living room all over across the street. And just perspective, there's right there, right here. It's outside of 310. What we've done is we have come up with a site plan where we have sufficient parking spaces on the site. Site gets back to
82.
that's gonna be 82. Have a park. You got that right, so now with your apartments, there's a little bit of retail, there's no park trying to comply. So that's what we have done. So you add a series of spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
On premise.
On premise.
So that's one spot for each apartment dweller and 2 spots for the employees of the grocery store. And as you know, the town has passed a resolution allowing for up to 13 spaces, not spaces, but 13 spots in, that could be, we would pay for, that would go to maintaining the municipal parking lot, which is a half a block away.
Oh, okay.
So, first thing is, we can't get a full line spot on the site. So we have less spots on the site, that's one place where there's easy on. But as Jay said, we want to make sure 10 apartments, 5 studios, 5 bedrooms, that each apartment got a spot, the regulation is a spot by hand. We got that one. We've also included an accessible spot as part of the 12, a compact spot as part of the 12, and an employee spot as part of the 12. So that way it's not like you need to go to the street, there's that spot, and that's accessible, so it's kind of like that. First is, we can deliver spots. Second is, the town spot spacing, the town spot dimensions that are required are 9 by 20 for a regular spot, 9 by 25 for a parallel spot. So it's basically 9 by 20 for a particular, 9 by 25 parallel. The problem with that is, and we also should mention, the town requires a 26-foot aisle when you have appropriate parking. The problem we run into that is, when we do that, we try to get up into the building site work, we end up pushing this all the way almost on top of the creek. Do you not want to work like this? We want to provide resilience. I don't want to push this right at the edge. You have flooding issues, floodway issues. The 500-year flooding is from here forward. 100-year flooding is here backward. You have floodway right through here. So we're trying to stay away as best as we can. So what we've done is we might get multiple projects throughout our county. Some towns have done by 20, some towns have done by 18, some towns have 25 foot houses, some towns have 6 foot houses, some have 10 by 20 spots. It varies within the county, but a large number of towns in the county have 9 by 18 spots. And looking at a lot of vehicles out there, our goal was we can shrink down 9 by 18. And similarly, mile, a lot of towns have 24 foot houses, 6 foot houses, 5 houses. We go 25 and a 18-foot spot. We lose 2 here, 1 here, 2 here, shrink it down by 5, get that much away.
There will still be room for a car to back up
Yes.
safely.
Yes.
Oh,
Like I said, there was several, multiple other towns also that had 9 by 18 and had narrow aisles. We didn't go super small. The only place where we actually went for the smallest, we didn't go between one compact spot, because we figured out, a dozen cars, someone's bound to have, whether it be, subcompact or whatever, specific, right, on big, so, and, so it has some use smarter, or you're unique for that, maybe one was compact, which is here, has space, that's one more spot there.
That one spot that's close to the street, looks very close to the street, that one close, that guy there, yeah. Are you getting, how far are you from the sidewalk there? Or from the curb? Mm-hmm.
So this is your fence right there.
Uh-huh.
So it's regular travel.
Uh-huh.
The white line is the sidewalk, the dark line is the fence, and then you're full.
And you can't push further into the property of the other?
Then we lose all, then this spot's gonna go further down more this way.
Huh.
And then we're also working hard on trying to make sure we get access to the back of the building as well. So, just to get to this, there's quite a bit of,
Yeah.
I should also mention, in addition to all this, we have to do a DEP required small swale. Our total disturbance of the site is less than an acre, but because there's an impervious surface within 100 feet of the stream now, impervious surface has always been here within 100 feet of the stream, because the place like around since 1882. But now we're doing parking here, and, other improvements, concrete deck, along the base space all over here, we have to do a DEP small swale. So, we can't just pave the whole thing. We have to make sure we're keeping care of small corners as well. Fortunately, Jan and I have has a watershed work and DEP out of sight, and they're working with us.
What is this SWIP? It's just DC SWIP?
It's a
Stormwater.
over an acre in New York State DEC stormwater pollution protection plan. We're under an acre, we're at, quarter acre or so here. But because I was doing over the stream, New York State environmental protection regulations require a very small swale. So we have to address everything within 100 feet of the stream.
Okay. These parking areas will be pervious surface?
So the plan is, and I'm showing you details here, the plan is for this to be gravel. I'm going to go back and quite a way more surface, which is really good at that, which is accessible. I do show what the detail procedures are over the town for a permit. Probably like a month to be made. So we have something now to here, just as you want to go back out of the street more or less. Over here, we were looking at grass pavers. The reason we're looking at grass pavers and gravel is once again getting back to the DEP involvement. Grass pavers, which is what I'm showing you right here, will allow the water to cease to dam.
Okay.
So our initial conversations with DEP were, what should you do over here? What do you think about, something like this? That's how we came to grass pavers. So that's kind of just this general layout from where our parking spot issues are. We also have, obviously, development within the floodplain. Like part of the site floodway. We looked at a little bit more. We're not doing any construction for floodway at this point in time. We need floodway to be, I feel like we have to be a discharge from stormwater where we just the exact same rate. Our plans include some details here. We have a tough detail that didn't work in parking lots. It's going to be a gravel. We're going to always be using stripes. So you may have seen the example of the logo is.
Rail Explorers has it. Rail Explorers is using that.
Okay, and Mohawk Reserve uses those like gravel. So I haven't seen the rail trails, but that's great for Mohawk Reserve. We're going to do some retaining wall work, those retaining wall details, just the general trench and landscape details. This is the stuff started. This is the architect. This is our landscape plan, which has a planning board, which we do both the work provide the building in front, on the sides, back, as well as the area across the street where the old was, where that's was a small landscape park, like I said.
It's just, we're going to try to do a native plant, replanting, and then say, there's some very mature trees on this side, and we're going to try to save those. And
And you can see by sliding these spots over a little bit, we're able to get some landscaping and some perspective.
and we have these rainwater planting areas, which CWC is going to help us with the design and maintenance of.
And they're going to work with our biologist, very small.
What is the name of that tree? What is the name of that tree? Pardon?
Alton.
Alton, A-L-T-O-N?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Not that, and then the variances, but we have the white plants, it's a series of lights underneath the patio, a few lights by the parking lot. What was really nice on this was the architect's office, Mark Ellis, specifically discussed this with you. Did quite a bit of work with finding historic images, consultations with Blueberry, and actually tried to match the
So actually, we have some of the original lighting is coming back because of that, but obviously it's all following night sky regulations.
The original lighting, maybe actual.
Well, we found that there was,
Original type.
yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but there was a little light here, and so we're gonna put that back in.
A post, it's a
Yeah.
post.
Yeah,
If you look at the historic handheld posters, it's a little bit
yeah.
we're trying to make it work. This is just some before and after, I'm sorry. It's not, this is before, so there's a series of photos that basically just show the condition of the site. Site is overrun with some vegetation, there's not, there's, I think it's, when the development through and rubber, will be very attractive site.
There's a swimming pool we're filling in.
And the swimming pool has already been punctured, This is the front of the building, artist rendering from Mark Taylor's office. That's my elevation, looking south more or less. This is the west elevation, this is the west side looking east.
So we're putting back the wraparound porch, and we're enclosing part of it, so it'll be like a 3-season porch if we raise enough money.
So right now, of course, the wraps are here, front side, not the other side, but this is patio walls and the elevators are all posted. So when we get down within the 100-year floodplain down there, we're not really building into some tunnels.
And then just reminding you, the entire foundation is being replaced and wet waterproofed.
The entire foundation is being replaced?
Yes,
We're also building that area in the back, there's this rear access as well.
Now, at this point, let me stop you. There's a cafe retail space. Where would that be located?
yeah.
This is rear elevation, shows the rear deck. This is the, not the house next door, but that's in the east side. To answer your question, this is the first floor, here we do the first floor.
I'll do this side. So this is the retail space up through here. It's about 1,500 square feet. Our goal is to get a grocery store in there. We're talking to 4 different grocers right now, small independent grocers in the Catskill area who are successful and want to expand. So it'll be fresh food and essential grocery goods, and I'm sure they'll sell coffee.
I'll be there then.
And then, now the project's also.
Wow. Is this available down in the downstairs office for us to review?
Yeah. Yeah. We also, if any of you are in Pine Hill, first of all, I'd be happy to give anybody a tour. And secondly, at the Pine Hill Community Center, we've had a show up for a month, and it'll be up for a little while longer. We had there's a very famous photographer in Pine Hill, and he volunteered his time and took extensive existing condition pictures that are incredibly beautiful and frightening. And we framed them and put them up with the drawings of what it's going to look like afterwards.
What's that person's name?
Paul Walker.
Paul Warshall.
Paul Warshall, yeah, he's quite amazing. That was-
He's done he's in the city, and he's done a lot of work in the city.
He's a famous guy.
Actually, my wife used to work for him,
Ah.
photographer.
Yeah, no, he's really fabulous.
Well, I don't think so.
He spent the whole day in that building, and just, the pictures are just fabulous.
He's had a house in Pine Hill for
Yeah, he does, right up the road,
30 years.
yeah.
What was very nice also is to see with those pictures is that the timbers are, most of the structures in really good shape. Physically, as far as, a lot of times, unfortunately, you see some 100 years old, that's in use, and it's this, yes, we're redoing the foundation, civils, what have you, but once you get your structure, it puts into some shape.
Yeah, this is the race against the clock, is that the foundation must be replaced in the next couple of years. And, but every engineer who's been through the building has been astonished at how the rest of the building is in very good shape.
They're primarily hemlock, joists and...
I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. I'll find out.
Do you know how many variances you're gonna need?
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's 5.
on the area variance side, like Alan said, the number of units permitted is 4. We're asking for 10 on the studio and the one-bedroom units.
We have that one already with the use variance.
It's all listed.
That's area. I'll explain. The use variance I'll explain too, but the parking spaces, number of spaces needed on the site is 21, we have 12. But then we have the other ones.
The street parking too.
Aisle width 26 feet wide is required, we have 25 feet. Parking space size required is done by 20, we have done by 18. Side yard setback required is 20 feet, we have 5. So it's, yeah, they're all,
Can you just, I don't wanna be difficult, but can you just list them?
It's listed, Hank, it's all
I know it's
listed.
in here,
the
but-
very next page, submit.
Everything's there.
And on the use variances, Alan's gonna just start laughing at me because they send them Mario's laws, because we're horrible math. There's a mistake in A, I have 7,500 square feet per unit, and 750 square feet per unit. So on the use variance, and I need a little bit of help from Grace here historically, I think, but the acreage necessary for 10 units of multifamily housing is 2.068. We only have 0.9 acres. Apparently in the past, there was an application, and the name escaped me, I think Ray Grace remember, where that difference was treated as a use variance. I think it can kind of be argued either way, but we were okay with it, standing use variance the same. These are permitted uses in the zone. I have nothing that is not permitted, they're all permitted uses, but I think that in the past, when we talked with Dan, in a meeting early, then the Grace itself, a bunch of people, and they made a determination that we stick with the prior precedent and consider it a use. I don't know if you remember the name of that. It was fairly recent.
The other engineering that was requested, so that was APFU. That was Mr. White Anderson's department. And his was on the use variance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the second instance, the required, and this one is the one that Alan calculated, and all the calculations are here also included, but the amount of required minimum lot area located within the floodplain, the entire floodplain for a multifamily commercial parcel, can't exceed 25% of the parcel's total acre. The parcel at issue has 15.8% of its land within the floodplain. That's where the old creek is. 29.2% of its land within the 100-year floodplain for a total of 45%. So there's a percentage deviation of 20% from what we require. Those are the two uses.
Okay. How long is the average car these days? 4 feet?
You start getting like 18, 19 years old, like that, to be like very hard, especially starting to like 80 hour, or 40 hours, something like that.
Okay.
Like, you want to, I've got a few cars, and they range anywhere from 12 to 18.
Yeah, okay.
We go over size, it's like, oh, I think, I've got it, that's like,
Well, okay.
so it all depends.
All right.
I think the most of your, so you go drive SUVs, most of your typical like inside SUVs are going to go out 80 feet.
Would seem so. A lot of information.
A lot of information. It's all there.
Looks good.
So there's no determination required from us at this meeting, we just need to review.
So you want a public hearing to be next month contingent on the secret approval?
Correct.
Okay.
It's
And the planning
doable,
board
right?
is the lead agency for SEQA. Correct. Yeah.
Well, this is basically a planning board document.
The first half, the second half is
Second
the
half
zoning
is
board
good,
document.
but some, yeah, it's got some variances. And why we should grant it.
Any questions, Gary? Thanks for that presentation, very nicely detailed. I really appreciate all the work you guys are putting into this.
Wish everybody did that.
Yeah. We've expressed a sentiment early on. I think I wrote a letter on behalf of this board.
Yes, you did.
November 2023?
Yes.
Really?
That was when they were going for the grants.
Right.
We got it when we received the New York State Historic New York Grant 8 for $1,000,006, and through Ulster Economic Development and the town, the ZBA planning board.
Yeah.
Just keep chipping along.
Yeah.
Yeah, we repeatedly expressed our sentiment in supporting this project, but it's become way more detailed than when you and I first spoke about it.
Which is good.
Then they were in kind of a rush to like get all of these little variances done so they could get into I guess, the meat of the project.
Well, questions arose. We started to ask those questions, which you didn't have an answer
No,
for.
you had a great suggestion to go back, start with the planning board, and then
Yeah.
you got lucky, quite frankly, and Rumco agreed to be our developer, and they brought in Alan and Mike, and then, quite frankly, that changed it.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, it's certainly an admirable project. I would think that a lot of other communities would be looking at this for how the hell they can achieve something like this in their community.
yeah, I think
So you guys are
They revive some of the old structures,
giving talks?
yes,
bring things back to
Can you,
life.
can you charge for that?
yes,
Oh. You should, you should.
yeah. Well, I think we're gonna do a little ABC of development for people.
Yeah, it's
I
been a,
understand what's involved.
it's been a long journey for you guys. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the attorneys for your input. It's always helpful for us when we have, higher level of input.
And Mike, how long did it take you to perfect that signature?
Yeah, I get a lot of comments.
You need
You
therapy.
gotta count the circles to make sure they're all correct.
It pretty much is the same all the time.
No, we're all looking for it
We're all
now.
looking for it.
Where is it?
This one.
It's the same, it's the same, it's almost like it's a stamp.
That one? Yeah.
It's like a spirograph.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that spiral.
Well, my problem is when,
Oh, no, it's this
some
Oh,
people think has to sign digitally, and I'm trying to do that for my mouse, and it never looks the same. So I guess you got something going on there. Okay, any other questions for these people?
No,
No?
Thank you so much.
some
for
reading
that
to do.
presentation.
Just if you could vote this as a schedule of public hearing.
Yes.
We could do that.
Tentatively, and then we'll give you the report on the 30th. Grayson knows by the 30th.
So I make a motion, we schedule a public hearing for the May meeting already? 21st.
Blueberry LLC.
For Blueberry LLC. Wellington Blueberry LLC, area and use applications. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. So, public hearing.
Is it at 6:45 or 6:30?
Well, let's say
Do
6:45.
6:30, I think it might be a long meeting, right? Might take a little more time than 15
I have
minutes.
one question related to that. The community has really put together, we have this remarkable collection of letters now. I really don't want to go back and ask people to write the same thing again. Can we resubmit the letters they submitted to the planning board?
I don't see
I don't
why
see
not.
why not.
Yeah. What do you mean?
We're gonna-
election? How many letters?
You're gonna notify everybody again anyway, right, or no?
Yeah.
18
Yeah, but they get,
percent.
they've got a lot of support from Pine Hill, basically, like, the town. And we only notify abutting and adjacent parcels.
Yeah. But I'd probably have 100 letters, 200 letters if they actually reached out.
And then we're seeking public hearing. And we had no opponents at that.
Oh, really?
Everything, every comment.
Good.
It was remarkable.
I can only imagine whatever, how it would
Oh, of course. And then if Dean Gitter's project ever goes through up there,
So
the
we're,
whole community together,
some of the dissenting voices were no longer heard?
be able to ski back into town.
They haven't been heard, that doesn't mean they won't be.
Right, right. Well, I remember there was
Not
some,
everybody, surprisingly, here and there. Not everybody's got that.
right.
You'll never. Yeah, it'll never happen.
You're getting it. Anybody's told you to do it.
There's five of us up here, and all of us are unhappy all the time.
Yeah, that's fine. But I said to these people who join the board, you know, eventually, sooner or later, you're gonna make some people really
Half
happy.
the
and you're
town
gonna
will
piss
hate
off.
you, half the town will love you, right?
That's what I said. And that's where it's working out.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thanks
you.
again for the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
same to you guys.
Okay. All right.
It's not on the agenda, we knew he was coming, I emailed you 2 weeks ago. Well,
Yes, you did. Did you direct the individual to the video and everything of our meeting?
he directed it to me. Yeah, you said, I sent it in, it sent it to me.
Which does this pertain to?
About 2 years ago,
Oh, the chickens.
Oh,
Mr. Height appealed his violation on his chickens. And this board, not in this exact.
Not me.
he's-
It was pre-me.
On the board.
I was interviewing the day they had their meeting.
There you
Yeah, come
go.
on up, come on up.
Well, we're gonna wait for, if you guys want to wait for him. But, you all reviewed, he didn't, there wasn't an application, there wasn't a fee paid, there wasn't a public hearing.
No, because
There wasn't anything.
it was a violation that was issued, and the issue was whether it was pre-existing, non-conforming, and continuous.
Exactly, and so it should have been an application, it should have been an application for interpretation, just like we did with the right density, it was a public hearing and all that, but for whatever reason that didn't happen, so.
Sir.
The neighboring parcel owner is still having issues with the chickens. I can't help him, because this board overruled my department's violation, so you all are the only ones that he can talk to.
Okay. Do you wanna voice your,
You guys wanna wait for Alan, or?
Alan?
I'll wait. Yeah, I need him.
Did he run away, or did he just?
You just ran right into.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
What is your name?
Mohammed Kabal.
and you are the neighbor of the Heights?
Yes.
Okay,
I live at 36, I live at 38.
okay, you're the property owner?
My mother is.
Okay. So we're waiting for the attorney to come back.
We're waiting for Alan.
Oh.
Alan,
Oh, I didn't realize it was gone.
he's like saying, am I in the right place?
I didn't realize you left. Yeah, well, give us a few minutes, we need to come back.
Oh, there he comes.
He's back. So you live right next to, what is the name?
Yes.
Heights?
Heights.
H-E-I-T.
It was all one. They used to own the whole property. And we have half, we have the acre and they have the half acre now.
Oh, I see.
That was a problem.
They subdivided, and you have the larger part. that is
Yes.
Subdivided.
And like the chickens are right there, like right there, they go all morning. I DJ, by the way. And when I come home at night, 3 or 4 in the morning, they go from 5 to 2. I try to work with them. I look at the video 100 times, and y'all told them, okay, y'all can have the chickens, but make sure the roosters, keep it to,
Oh, he's not supposed to have roosters.
he has a bunch of roosters,
He's
2.
not supposed to have roosters.
No, but at the end of the video that y'all did, y'all said y'all can have them, but keep it to a minimum. But every day, they've been going for a couple of years now. I've been calling the office. I've been calling, but they couldn't do nothing. They try to help. Everybody helped me in the office. They did help.
Yeah.
They
Well, my
told me to come here.
recollection is that he can have the chickens, but no roosters.
He has roosters. And when I try to work with him, I go to him like, hello, Dave, could you please, with the roosters? He calls the cops. I don't know what to do no more.
He called the cops on.
Yeah, on me, just for asking him,
Is,
you please.
is the issue actually the chickens or the roosters?
He's saying, because I'm like, I don't know, but he said the chickens, and you can't tell the difference when they born. That's what he told me. So that's what he told me.
Oh, that could be true.
Yeah, when they're born, but as soon as they start.
You wait a
growing
week.
bit,
Yeah, but they
roosters,
going crazy. He bought more chickens. He bought a whole nother bird cage. He bought more chickens over.
Could we arrange a deal where he gives you free eggs?
No,
No.
he tried that,
He's
he
not
tried
supposed to
that.
have roosters, though.
He tried that. I
Roosters
try
make
to
a lot
work
of
with him though,
noise.
because I didn't want to come through. I try to work with him, he's a nice guy. It's not no problem like that. He's nice.
I'm
It's
pretty
just,
sure when we made that
they-
agreement with him, and because of the chickens and the neighbor and where all the debris from the chickens was over by the fence, he was supposed to move all of that.
Yes, that was
He
the
said he
original-
moved the coop in the back or something.
no,
moved
the
roof.
original, they opened, when they first started, there was no chickens there, we bought the property. One day he bought a chicken house, but I thought it was for like rabbits or something. I didn't know. So they started getting big, they started crowing. Then he started, I got a camera. I sent the video in to Howard. I sent the video in.
Yeah.
He was taking the pool with chickens, throwing it to us like he's compounding or composting or something. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
Garden or
But
something.
he was lying. I sent the video to say he moved the chickens all the way over. Then they kept coming to my house saying the chickens is his daughter's. He bought the chickens for his daughter.
Well, that's irrelevant.
All right, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what he kept coming to my house saying, though, and I didn't want it because it was making a lot of noise.
The motion on this was that the fowl has been on the property since the adoption of the zoning book, therefore predating code.
Yes.
Right.
It doesn't specify that the man's not allowed to have roosters.
I believe that that's what we said at the.
These are your minutes.
And then I was reading,
To go on, is all I'm
and then I was looking at the video, and it's like they told her the date. They asked her the date for the chickens, and they telling her what the date to say. Like they asked her what date when with the chickens at her house. She said 1974. Then everybody started telling her, no, it's 76. I don't understand how you could do that.
When we had the
I
You
first,
remember
can't do that.
You know, the mother and the.
Yeah,
son.
you can't be like, okay, 1974, everybody's like, oh no, it's 76. The whole panel was up there saying 76, agreeing with them. And I wasn't here to defend myself.
well, the issue there is if this chicken coop existed before that date, then it's quote grandfathered in. That was the date, allegedly the date that the zoning codes went into effect.
But they don't have no proof though, that's just pictures. Where's the proof?
Yeah, well,
The proof they presented was Super 8 footage
Okay,
of the grandmother who's.
but they sold the property. Once you sell the property, grandfather's over. I looked it up. Once you sell the property, that grandfather's over.
fair.
I looked it up before I came here. I'm not a lawyer, I know how to read.
The grandfathering clause would not apply to your property that was a new subdivision, but wouldn't it still apply to their property that
Much
they
better
still?
question for Ben Bailey than what.
And they got the smaller half, I got the bigger half. They had the bigger half, I'd be okay. But they don't have no room. The chickens is like right there, you go, you walk, they right there.
Yeah. Is the noise only coming from the roosters?
Yeah, they on the video, he's telling y'all, on the video, he's saying there's roosters all around. They the only chickens in the whole neighborhood. There's no, if you look at the video, he tells you the video, you look at the end of the video, he tells y'all, oh, it's roosters. Are the roosters over there? He says, hey, it's roosters over there. Roosters over there, there's no roosters. He's the only one with roosters.
Why does he need roosters? He doesn't need
he
roosters,
doesn't
right?
need roosters, no.
Do you?
But is your problem with the roosters, or, I
It's
mean,
with the
could you?
chickens, period. 'Cause it's just bringing all type, it's bringing animals over there. Like, all type I had a rat in my house when he had the rodent, we had the cage by my door. When he's putting the chicken coop, I had got a rat in my house. It's all in the records.
Yeah.
I got I took the rat, I took my dog to the vet. I sent it all in to Howie. That's why Howie went to the property. He didn't say get rid of the chickens just like that. He did an investigation. He went to the property. He looked. And came back and made a decision. He didn't do it like how y'all did it. Nobody even went and looked. They just gave him back the chickens. And I wasn't here. Y'all did it.
It was the initial violation was issued by Howard McGowan following the site visit.
And then the
Mr.
girl-
Height doesn't have enough acreage to keep fowl on
Yeah,
his
you need
property.
an
That was the
acre of
violation.
property.
And he has at least 8 chickens right now. At least. He has
You can
4.
only have so many chickens on an acre of property.
You're allowed 20 per acre, but you have to have that first acre, and Mr. Height is just under that first acre. So that was what the initial violation was raising.
So your preference was that we make him.
I just want to be treated fair because I did it the right way. I didn't do it no unjust way or no unfair way. I did the right way. I did the right way. I went and called the
How long
zone.
have you lived there?
5 years.
And he's had chickens the whole time?
No.
Except for when they were removed?
No, but when
Was it a
it was a
violation?
cop that lived there before me, I forgot his name.
Chad Story.
Chad Story.
Chad Story.
Chad Story lived there for 20 years. There was no chickens there for 20 years.
Oh, really?
We didn't know that.
Well,
That's what I'm trying to say.
but you said that when you moved in, he then bought a coop,
He
right?
just bought the coop. He
Wait,
just
after you
bought the
moved in,
coop. After I moved in. After I was there for 2 years already, he just bought the coop.
We had Joe Michaels here said that the coop was there since the 40s.
Yeah. And then
He just bought the coop was bought, he put it on my door, that's what I'm gonna play, he moved it over there, he bought it. He just bought another one. They double, they buy, if you guys, you can just send somebody to go look at it. They back to back, they got 4-1, 4 on the other. I could record the rooster noise if y'all want, next time if y'all want me to. They go from, I come like I do a party, I come home at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, they go from 5 to 2. And my room is all the way in the back. Their backyard is my front yard. So you understand what's going on now?
Yeah.
Their backyard is my front yard.
yeah.
And his yard is terrible. It's full of garbage everywhere. But that's not the point. The point is the chickens. If you can't take care of your backyard, I don't know how you can take care of chickens. That's my whole point.
Okay. So your preference as a remedy would tell him to just get rid of the chickens?
Yeah, because
Okay, so it's not just a noise issue with the roosters.
he's going to, if, all right, I gave him a chance to keep the chickens. If he keeps the chickens, he's going to tell me he can't tell the difference from them. And
You get rid of them, so you can't tell the difference. Once you know, you
But
can
if
get
I
rid of
can't
them.
go talk to him, I go talk to him, he's calling the police. For nothing, you gotta call for emergency reason, not for chickens, man.
Would the
Cops,
police,
because they knock on my door 4 or 5 in the morning, state police.
what, what'd they tell you?
Oh, he won the thing with jobs, you have to leave him alone with his chickens. I said, okay, I'll go back in the house.
The state police told you that?
State police. He called the state police, they knocked on my door. I got it all on I got rings, I got all the videos, all that stuff, so. I don't have to lie.
What is the options for the zoning appeals board?
You need to talk to the attorney, I don't know, you can't. There's no application for you.
See?
If we had any indication that they weren't truthful with us about the chickens, and there was a gap in the period of 5 years that they didn't have the chickens, they weren't entitled to have them anymore.
That would allow us.
That would have allowed us to rule against the chickens.
Yeah, no, I understand that,
But,
I
you
do,
know, it's
I
how do
don't know
we,
what your legal procedure is to make a new motion that supersedes the one you already.
Yeah, like,
At the very least, I would feel better if all the parts, abutting parts of our property owners were notified. Because you're gonna get yourself right back where you started, where I'm not trying to make your life like.
yeah, no.
Where Mr. Hyde's not given the opportunity to defend himself unless he's notified that it's part of our duty.
Right.
Why, is there any way that we can force him to come in here and notify of the abutting properties?
I think we should talk to the lawyer, no? Shouldn't we talk to the lawyer?
I don't,
Because originally, when I made the first complaint to Howie, the girl that was the secretary, I don't know her name.
Pelizari.
She didn't really want to help me at all. I had to go around and get Howie's email, and I sent him an email. That's how he got in touch with him. So when I watched the video and I see her being a lawyer, I was really upset. She helped him. She helped him. That was the girl that didn't want to help me. When I tried to get in touch with Howie, she was like making a big scene. And when I looked at the video, she told me I was talking to her rude and angry. I'm talking to y'all polite. I don't know if I'm mean to y'all, I don't know. I was talking polite trying to get help. And she was talking a whole bunch of rubbish on the tape. That it had nothing to do with it. All you have to do is watch the tape. I watched it 100 times. 12, 15, 21, that's the date.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again.
I watched it 100 times.
where did you?
You
watch
wasn't
it?
there.
I wasn't there.
I remember you, I remember you. You wasn't there, I don't think.
Elizabeth was here.
He
She's a
wasn't
board
there, I don't
member
think.
now.
Yeah.
She was on.
He's new, he wasn't there, but it was just.
Who? He was there. He's been
I didn't
here,
recognize
he's
that.
been here since the town started.
Well, he had hair then.
Oh, yeah, the haircut, sorry. Well,
That grandfather's good right there. But, yeah, well, first of all, people are, people also reluctant to get between neighbor disputes. I guess this goes beyond a neighbor
I mean,
dispute.
it does, I mean, I agree with you, but at the time of that meeting, we could only rule on what was presented to
Presented.
us.
I know, but nobody got
There was nobody
contacted me.
getting
I came and been my own lawyer. I'd have been here with defense.
What do you mean nobody contacted you?
Nobody contacted me.
You guys didn't have a public hearing on that.
Nobody contacted me.
There was never a public
It was, no, there wasn't a public
Why not?
hearing. It was just brought in for a violation, and he wanted to, him and his mother wanted to show us that they had the chickens continuously through that, since 1940 something.
It should have been, in my opinion, dealt with much the same way we dealt with Mr. Wright. Correct. Whatever it is.
I
So
agree
a
with
public
you.
hearing didn't happen.
I just feel that it was
How
done
can-
unfairly
how
with
can
that
we-
girl, with the secretary. She did it her way.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, Grace is no Sabbath.
Oh.
It's Grace.
Yeah, they helped. They told me they saw
And I'm
me
gonna
come
say,
here.
I was brand new, so can't blame me.
Yeah.
My interview for the board was that day, the day those two came in.
It's like, like the guy killed 4 people, but I was only there for 1, so you can't blame me.
Well,
Grace, in your infinite wisdom. Yeah. I might argue with you all the time, but you got a lot of wisdom. How can we get Mr.
we
Hyde
can,
back
yeah,
in here
you should be able to, right.
and discuss the chickens again based on maybe neighbors saying that they didn't have them for 5 years? And
Right. I think that you need, that Mark should reach out to Mike Gailey and have this conversation with him so that you all are covered and so that Mr. Hike is covered and so that you're covered and so everybody is legally where they need to be and this can be settled. It might take a little longer that way. but
I don't
think-
care. I don't give it take long. As long as it, I just
So
want.
long as that
you want to
everybody.
be treated fairly.
That's it. I just want to be treated fairly. That's it.
Because I can think of,
I just think the secretary did it her way. That's all I gotta say to y'all.
And you don't want to be up half the night listening to roosters.
From 5 to 2, it's more than just like 2, 3 roosters over there. They go back to back. Hug-a-doo-doo, hug-a-doo-doo, back to back.
I didn't get your name in the beginning. What's your name?
Mohammed Kabbah. MOHAMMEDKABBAH.
Thank you.
I guess we'll have to call Mr. Gailey and.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him back
I think
in
we should.
here
Yeah.
and maybe get the neighbors in here and people to dispute what
Like
they presented to us.
I work with him. Like I say, he had the chickens, but he act like he don't know what's the difference when they born. Like they be there for long.
That's irrelevant.
Yeah, nobody was there from his representation,
It was just the
right?
family.
Nobody was here.
They had his mother come in.
He had a mother. His mother,
Bobby technically owns the property, not David.
Yeah, the mother.
the mother, David. But David, the one that made the complaint or whatever, was David, and they brought a witness, some guy I never seen in my life.
I sent you guys the link to that.
The witness?
There was a
Yeah, it
young,
was a witness, a guy I never seen in my life. He was talking about it was a store there in 1940, and all right, that's 1940. That's back in 19. I don't know what you talking about 1940.
He was his friend, Joe Michaels was here. and he
Joe
presented
Michaels,
it.
who was a former board member here. and
Oh,
he was
okay.
pleading there.
But he was acting like he lived over there, like he lived around. He's like, oh, this is 1940, and this day they had. So they was talking about signs and
40. How old was he?
crazy.
We had super great footage of the owner, who's now 90 years old, as a little girl holding chickens. And they said, yeah, this was 1954. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the
There's
phone.
no proof. Like,
Well, if
there's no proof.
Well, there was no continuous video from 1940 something all the way up to the time.
For back then, like, where's the newest pictures from the newest ones? Like, it's no pictures. That's when they had all the property. They had the whole one. All the pictures y'all see was from when they had the whole property. They owned the whole thing.
Because they had a meat market or something.
They sold that property. But they had no chickens on there since the cop was there for 20 years. He's lived in there for 20 years. They had no chickens there. Then I got in there. And I was there for 5.
Well, how about Chad Story owned the property and he was there for 20 years? Next door, why don't we ask Chad Story if he had chickens? And if he doesn't have any chickens, if he didn't have any,
I will call Peter tomorrow, have a conversation.
Is Chad still
Like,
around?
he did actually, the supervisor, Peter said he did, that Chad said they had chickens back then. When he was, because Chad used to live on the block when he was young. They all live right there.
well, Chad lived there for 20 years, so if he says that they didn't have chickens for a long period of time, over 5 years, then that would preclude him from having chickens
They didn't have no chickens for 20 years over there. He had that for 20 years.
Or if there's a gap in that ownership, then that would negate the,
Yeah, he would lose
the
his.
grandfather issue about having the chickens. So let me ask a question. Do chickens need a rooster to
No.
lay eggs?
No.
No.
And so it's not just a noise issue, it's also the chicken poop and the proximity.
I want you to ask him when he come here, where does he put it? That's what I want to ask y'all. When next time y'all have a meeting with us together, ask him where he puts it, because I see where he puts it, and he's no compost, or whatever they call it.
Yeah. When he was here, he said he was putting it in the garden, and the garden was by the fence. That's what he was saying.
Nope. I had to put a fence up to keep him away from me. I got a
Where does it
long
go,
wood
right?
fence. It goes right through the property. I had to put it, because when it's
Yeah.
open, that's when he had to, that's when he went to poop, so he's going back and forth on my property.
I put a little.
In his head, he still thinks they own the whole property. He's in his imaginary, like, he thinks he thinks they own it, still owns it. I'm like, you don't own it no more. Y'all sold it.
Well, I mean, some of these families go back generations.
I know,
so-
I know. That's why I said I would work with him with the chickens, but he likes to call the cops, so he want to do it that way. I'll come and do it the right way. I'll come here.
You know.
No, we appreciate
It
that.
doesn't make it right, and you have to be a good neighbor. I mean, really.
I try to work with him. Mashak came how many years later? This is how long I've been trying to work with him, and it's not working. He's getting more chickens and another chicken coop. A whole new chicken coop is over there now. He got 2 chicken coops now.
He's selling
You
eggs?
get a pet fox.
Nah, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm new here. I don't like the evil guy, Shandaken. I want to be friendly.
At least a bigger dog.
I had a pig. The pig I've been
Get 2 more.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make light of it, but it is something that's got to be addressed, and maybe.
I just want to be treated fairly. That's
Yeah,
all.
I hear you.
We'll take care of this in the proper way if Grace talks to the attorney and we talk to Chad Story to find out if that is in
Grace
fact true,
Story.
that he had chickens continuously.
Okay.
And that would make a big difference. Chad is the chief of police here, so if he says that he didn't have chickens for a period of 5 years, that's what he said. And we'll rule on that.
Okay.
We can,
Okay.
But you'll leave.
Yeah, so this is interesting about living in this town. We're dealing with whether or not we should approve multi-million-dollar, extremely high-tech, personal dwelling housing developments, and then we're dealing with, can somebody own chickens?
Chickens.
I know this is too crazy. I know, but I did
No.
it the right way. And
It's
not crazy.
It's an important issue, actually.
We live here in the community altogether.
not only that, it's
Yeah,
a health issue on a small piece of property.
Sure.
That too, yeah.
That's why they had the regulation, right?
Yeah.
he has like 8 chickens. That's a lot. For that little piece of half an acre.
How many does he have now? 8?
8.
8 chickens.
8 chickens.
And that point is basically a hobby. Well, they're harvesting eggs, but it's
So
basically.
that's including the roosters?
No, with the roosters.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Total.
It's probably like 2 roosters and like 6 regular chickens. He keeps the roosters in one cage, he keeps the chickens in the other. Like, that's how he's doing it. I think he's, I don't know.
Oh, some people say you need a rooster, so if a fox gets in the hen.
Yeah, it's a little more aggressive.
They go crazy. It's an alarm thing. It's a safety thing for the rest of the chickens. I don't know.
I don't know.
raise chickens.
My wife was,
I try, like I said, I try to work with him so we could just handle it like grown-ups.
Hang some meat
Like
on
I
it.
say, it's just give it the roosters, he wanna call the cops, so.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. We're here to try to sort this out. I've
There's
said
no need for
before-
you to get in trouble over this.
Oh, no, that's why I come the right way, I don't want
Yeah,
no
yeah,
trouble. I
let's-
DJ, I
Let's see if
can't.
we can handle it through the zoning board
Okay,
and the zoning department.
okay.
We said many times we're not marriage counselors here, but I guess this goes beyond
Yeah.
being a marriage counselor.
I just thought I was supposed to be here that day at the hearing, that's all, and defend myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally understood. No, we're here to hear all opinions, all points of view, and try to make a decision. So, all right, we'll talk to the town attorney. What are we asking him?
well, what can we do?
I can explain the situation to Mr. Daly, and I can ask him to provide this board with some advice.
What's the recourse?
Yes. And you'll probably see Chad before us.
I see once in a while.
Yeah, he doesn't,
But he's no longer the,
yeah, gee.
Yeah.
Chief, I spoke to Pete, the supervisor did tell me, he spoke to him, he said they had chickens on there when they was years, but they have 20 years when he was there, when he had the property.
And there was no chicken.
He says in that 20 years, there was no
There's
chicken?
no chickens there in 20 years.
The whole 20?
20 years.
You're kidding. Wow.
No chickens.
I mean,
The fact that, I mean,
Did we think
they
he
had
had
chickens
chickens
there,
there?
they predated the 76 zoning code. But the thing is, they also had the acre plus land
Yeah.
to have it. Once they sold off that land, they gave up their
Yeah,
right.
that's my,
They got-
that's why I'm talking
They
right
don't have the
there.
acre.
That's my point.
That-
You know,
that's-
that could be,
That's the point right there I'm trying to make. I looked that up. And once you sell a property, it's over.
could be,
Once you sell it, it's over. It's over. I looked it up.
you created your own hardship. Yep.
I will, I will ask him for his advice, and I will provide him this board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Get home safe.
Nice to meet you.
yeah, you as well. Don't run over any chickens on the way home.
If you get one, get them all.
Great, great.
Never a dull moment, huh?
Documents and folders stay in the folder.
It's up to you guys if you wanna bring it up, but if you wanna leave it here, we're not gonna get rid of it.
Okay.
Well, I will get rid of some stuff.
So, wait, Wellington, we should,
So I'm gonna take out the one that you voted on.
yeah.
Jones, Colasaki, for all. We'll remove that paperwork. What I'll do, unless you want to put it back here and complete it, and you guys can decide what you want.
Paperwork?
But he doesn't have, you need an acre, you need an acre.
So if he sold the property after
I'm happy to do that.
1976,
I mean, all the ones we voted on, we don't, might as well.
Look at all this.
I got stuff here from 3 years ago.
Do we have to vote to close this? Or did we close already?
No.
Grace, we still need to close, right?
Guys, I'm waiting for you.
We need, it's good. We need to close still, right?
Yeah.
Right, and we got a 1, 5, 3, and 5 acre zone, right? So if you sold 19.5 acres and you kept a half an acre, now you can't turn around and say you want to build on your property. Now you're not going to fit in on your density. I mean, at one time you could have done it, and you were pre-existing, you know, but
Well, it's the whole thing with the residential
Grace,
property,
what do you
right?
think
He
it
created
is?
his own hardship
Gary's saying that
by selling that, by
in
splitting the lots.
1976 or 74, when the zoning came into effect, he had over an acre land. He had maybe an acre and a half or whatever he had. And he had chickens and he had a cow and pigs and they butchered them and sold them.
They had a butcher
Now, as time went on, he sold more than half the property, but he still kept the chickens on the farm and he didn't have an acre of land.
Then that's not a pre-existing non-conforming use. Assuming that the subdivision was approved after 1976,
Yes.
that pre-existing non-conforming use goes away, the second change.
That's what he was saying, and that's what Gary just said. That was never
I
mentioned.
don't think the board was aware.
We weren't aware. Nobody ever said that he sold.
they never mentioned that he sold half.
Everybody was,
Yeah.
That might be
That
catalyst
But I'll tell them.
that's exactly what it
to eat these chickens.
I know. I
All
remember
right.
sitting there,
Can
bed.
you call Mr. Gailey, or?
I would
sitting
call
out in
him
the
like
hallway
that.
waiting to get interviewed.
Oh, really?
So what are you doing with all these files? We're,
I will, each list of those.
I'm gonna take this
We've been here for generations.
blueberry thing home.
yes, absolutely, please.
You know, it's just,
It's compelling, right? Because
We
somebody's
gotta
like,
finish this
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, we need a closure. Any other comments, or?
I got a lot of
Wait, we gotta finish this meeting.
that was good.
Yeah. May I make a motion to close the meeting? Or do you have anything else to say?
No, I was gonna bring up some McCann, but I'm not doing it. Let's just close the meeting and get the hell out of here. Nothing's gonna happen with McCann anyway.
With who?
McCann?
McCann.
What's McCann?
Team with the sauna and the.
Oh, yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
I need determinations from Donna regarding the flood zone issues before I know what kinds of variances Mr. McGann actually needs. I can ask him for that designation for.
He put in for a use variance and an area variance with us.
And
He
I
did?
asked Donna to come to the meeting.
I asked you to ask her,
And
yeah.
as you see,
Yeah,
she did not.
I get it.
All right, okay. Any other comments?
Maybe next month.
Well, it looks like the two of yous just gotta keep holding down the fort.
Who made the motion?
Maybe you can split his salary.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, so moved. Meeting closed. Thank you, folks.